Dang, the ex-president got popped. That's crazy. A lot of stuff in here that's just not adding up correctly. You know, when you look into it a little bit, you're like, was this a psyop? Was this the actual thing? Did he really get popped? I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But in today's video, we'll be looking at creepy and strange TikToks that are gonna make you question everything.
Said, take a look what happened.
Ooh. I mean, that one looked maybe kind of real. I mean, if I just got popped, right, I'm finna be on the lookout for more shooters. I'm just saying. I'm not finna stand up again to make myself another target. Get me up out of there if that's really what's going on. But you know, there's a lot of photographers, a lot of videographers, a lot of iPhones. So, you know, had to make the picture.
Lots of breaking news I'm about to cover. As you see, there is a hole here in his chest. Also, this woman was reporting from Times Square showing that the televisions was not reporting what happened to him. And I even went down to Atlanta to the CNN Center and they cut off all the televisions, as well as when I went to the bars, they would not show it regardless. Even when I asked them to put the news on, they said they're not allowed to. Why is there not a single article that is sitting there saying what happened today? Literally some journalist sitting there saying firecracker. Also, this guy was out in the field and he was trying to get the police and the Secret Service attention, and they weren't really paying attention to him saying that, hey, someone is up on the roof. Now, I do want to let you know that he did get up and he let the crowd know that he was okay. He was saying that he needed his shoes, but obviously, like you saw, there was the hole in his chest, as you see here. But obviously, you better know that they're wearing a tight vest. So this is where he was holding the rally. This is where Secret Service was, and this is where the active person was. Also, this was really, really weird to me when I was down in Atlanta. They would not play this stuff on the television. I don't get it. It's very confusing. Tell me what your thoughts are. Take care. God bless.
Don't you think you'd get like one of those breaking news interruptions?
The more we learn about Mr. Crooks, who was responsible for what happened here last night, the more weird the story becomes. Apparently, he was a registered Republican, but gave money to extreme left-wing organizations, but was wearing a Demolition Ranch shirt, which is seemingly a conservative group here in Texas. Very confusing, but here's where it gets interesting. The young man was featured in a BlackRock commercial. You guys know who BlackRock is? Investing group? Well, in case you don't know, let me make you familiar. They are the world's wealthiest and largest investment firm in the world, asset manager in the world. Look at how much they're valued at. Did you guys know that they're so big and so powerful, they're trying to start their own stock exchange? So to me, when we think about corporations, we know that they don't particularly seem to care for Donald Trump. And as the corporate asset manager for most of the world, well, this is starting to look kind of odd. You guys tell me, is this normal or is it not?
Okay, so fam, the plot just keeps getting thicker and thicker and thicker.
Before we get into this one, do you guys believe in mind control? Like a person implanting a thought in your mind, or basically coming in and controlling you for a little bit and you really don't know what you're doing, you know? Because I feel like in a lot of these cases, that might be the case. You know, like this guy, say for instance, he worked for this company. And the company, like they said, they're the richest. So, you know, they got access to whatever. So they're going to say, let's send this guy out there. We put him under the little psyop mind control thing. He gonna go out there and do what we gotta do. I'm just saying, I don't know if it's real. He could have had his own motives, but you never know.
Guys, check this out. This is the alleged or so-called Trump shooter right here on the world stage. Family, this kid was in BlackRock commercials. This is insane. You guys know who BlackRock is, right? If you don't know, check this out.
You now make a point of that's an investment criteria for you.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors. At BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors. 54% of the incoming class are women. We added 4 more points in terms of diverse employment this year. And what we're doing internally is if you don't achieve these levels of impact, your compensation could be impacted, okay?
We're doing the same.
And so it's just, you have to force behaviors. And if you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted. And that's not just not recruiting, it is development, as Ken said. And ultimately, it's still going to take time, but I am just as much shocked as Ken is that we have not seen more opportunities. And we're going to have to force change.
The biggest military industrial complex business of arms, guns, weapons, anything to do with war, BlackRock runs that. Halliburton, all those companies, every company you can think of falls under the banner of BlackRock. And once again, BlackRock is controlled by Aladdin Enterprises. Aladdin Enterprises is a fucking AI. We're talking about Skynet here, family. BlackRock is the company that owns every company. They're the ones that pushing the transhumanist agenda on everyone. They want you to believe that the Democrats and Republicans are at war and that they sent somebody to take out Trump. And now this is going to cause the Republicans to want revenge. And the motherfucking wizard behind the curtain, like in the Wizard of Oz, the hidden hand, is fucking BlackRock. You guys do the math. That's the fucking hidden hand, the puppeteers who's orchestrating all of this on the world stage right now in your face. It is Skynet, it's Aladdin, it's Saturn, it's Satan. That's the one controlling the fucking algorithm that's creating this doofy frequency waveform that everyone's falling for. It's the one creating this low frequency scenario that we stuck in, supposedly. Loop is over. The veil is lifted. I ain't not seeing this shit for what it actually is. It is BlackRock controlling the whole scenario. It's BlackRock running this. It's the military industrial complex. And you heard it here first, live on Orion TV, the fucking Sargon show. If you know, you know. Let's fucking go. Bang, bang. Yo, Council, this is the deepest rabbit hole I have ever entered. In the past couple days, I've done so much research and so much digging, and this is incredible. Anyway, here are more receipts for you, my Crystal Council, God's children. No one can mess with us. We know what's what, and we see right through the veil. Their plan has failed. Do you guys see this? This is one of their operatives. I told you, they're trying to create a civil war between us, but we won't fall for the okie doke. We spiraling up.
I teach AP and honors economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say, you know, that guy made this place a special place to come to school.
Yeah, Council, for all of you who stuck around to the very, very end, that's your boy right there, and this is the BlackRock commercial. What a coinky-dink. Let's go.
And gave as much as he could to help the community.
That's wild.
No, watch this shit, dude. Watch. Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch this. Puts the sign up.
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
Shots go off.
She's completely normal. And then watch.
And then she's got her.
What the fuck? What the fuck? People are freaking out.
And she's filming.
And she's just like right there. She's not even freaking the fuck out. What the fuck?
You know, that's my thing, right? Is if someone's shooting, I don't know if I should be able to, like, if I'm able to say that word on here. If someone's out here, pow, 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 wouldn't you want to run away or duck or hide or try to see where it's coming from? And how do you know they're done, doing what they're doing? Because a lot of people, it's like pow, 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 and then they just could. They're right there. They're like, oh, let me bring my phone out now. What happened? This must have been on the schedule right here because I figured this was going to happen. So let me go ahead and film it. Photographers and everything, they're just right there. Pow, pow, pow. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, I'm gone. I'm out of there. I'm not finna get hit by nothing. But it just seems like a lot of people were too calm, especially that girl right there.
Yo, can someone explain this? Okay, so you see that cop out there to the right, the one with the rifle? That's the presidential limo where Trump is already going inside after he's been shot. The cop seems to get some type of order through his earpiece. And check this out. He fucking points the gun and seems to point the gun inside the SUV.
What's going on here, man?
All right, I'm fixing to show you a picture and study that picture closely, and then I'm going to talk about it. All right, so that picture I just showed you is a screenshot, a still picture of the video I'm sure everybody's seen. I want y'all to watch that video another time or two after I tell you this on this video. So I'm a bit of a competition marksman, I guess I'm trying to use my words correctly here. My daughter is too. She's actually a lot better than me, and she's only 15 years old. But so I can hit that target 10 out of 10 times at 1,000 yards with a 20-mile-an-hour wind. I'm not bragging. I'm trying to paint a picture here so you know I know what I'm talking about, what I'm fixing to tell you. I hit that target 10 out of 10 times. That's a pretty small target at 1,000 yards. I have shot that target at a mile. I shot 10 rounds at a mile and hit the target 3 out of 10 times. So it's one of my biggest accomplishments shooting, and we had a pretty good wind, and it was a 1 o'clock wind. For anybody that shoots knows what I'm talking about. It was a tough wind. It kept switching kind of left and right. But I was real proud of that. It was one of my best days ever. But anyway, that's I know a lot about what this topic is, why I'm showing y'all this. My resume, I know a lot about this topic. So if you watch the video of the steel shot I showed you earlier, that guy on the roof, both of them, are in their scopes.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at the target. The target is on the other roof. You know what I'm talking about. They were looking at that target for a minute or two. The guy on the roof on the left side takes his eyes out of the scope and looks at what he's already looking at through the scope. And when he raises his head out of that scope, you hear the sound. He goes back into the scope and he pulls the trigger. Then he does the job. The biggest question that we need answered, people, and this has to be answered and provable, is when he went back in the scope, he didn't turn and aim a different direction. In other words, he was looking at the bad guy before the bad guy did the bad thing, 100%. Because as soon as he went back down, as soon as the bad guy did his bad thing, he went back into his position and pulled the trigger. He didn't move. He was already looking at the bad guy. This is the biggest evidence we've got, and we've got to get to the bottom of this, and it's got to be transparent. Why was he looking at that guy for so long without doing his job? I'm not speculating. I'm not saying I know why. I'm saying we have to know why, because that is 100% the question that has to be answered. And the guy needs to be interviewed. Probably already has been, but we need to know the answer to that. There's 100% certainty. Go watch that video as many times as you need to, and pay attention when he raises his head and looks out of the scope. You hear the sound. He goes back in the scope and he pulls the trigger. He didn't move. He was on the bad guy before the bad guy did the bad thing. Y'all go check that out and let me know in the comments.
Yo, that's crazy. So he just looking. He like, come on, man, hurry up. Pow. All right. Like they knew it was going to happen.
There's going to be people of means who are going to travel. And then there's going to be people maybe who of lesser means who might actually be able to use an Oculus or a Magic Leap or some other kind of device to travel to the same place, but from their own couch. But in many ways, it's actually going to create even more distance between those two people. That psychologically, and I think that we've experienced this through social media. In many ways, it's brought people closer in certain ways, but actually created this remarkable divide because it's even more visible, actually, the divide.
I do not like them people. WEF. I don't know what they be having going on, man. I just feel like they are trying to, change the world for real. What the heck? Oh, I see now. Bro, probably not even real. That's something else. That's a skin suit, man. You don't even know how to walk anymore. That's some other creature that don't know how to walk, I guess. They never hit banks, prisons, or the courthouse. They sure don't. Dang.
Did anyone else find the invitations to the all-white party extremely weird? This is the highest profile party in the world.
That party right there, don't ever invite me to that party. I'm cool. I don't never want to go on that party. Nope. I'm straight. There's probably some stuff that be going on there. No parts in that.
Called the All-White Party. It's hosted by billionaire Michael Rubin, and it happens every year on the 4th of July. But there was something about the invitations that just didn't sit right with me. This one is Tom Brady's, this one right here is Drake's, and this is Quavo's. You can see all of the celebrities' invitations if you just look them up. But if you pause and look at the artwork, there's some weird stuff going on. These invitations were done by George Condo. This is a very popular artist, and some of his artwork goes for millions of dollars, and he gave each celebrity their own unique invitation. And I looked up some of his artwork, and he has a lot of interesting stuff, including when he collabed with Kanye West for one of his album covers. He drew him up a bunch of artwork. Yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself. A lot of people question what actually goes down during this party, especially after they saw what Michael Rubin made Meek Mill do, jumping around like a bunny because he supposedly lost.
Who? Who's that guy? I don't know if I heard about him before. Meek Mill? Meek Mill.
The bet. And then in the private jet, when Lil Baby and Meek Mill were saying that they were gonna get drunken hugs if they don't behave at the party.
Tonight, I don't care what anyone says. You're getting a drunken hug. You too. You too. Drunken hugs are coming tonight.
I'm cool, man.
Like y'all to know, this is secret knowledge. Not a lot of people know about this, but your whole body is present on your face. Your intestines, your stomach, all can be present here. The state of your stomach can be present in your nose. Your whole intestines can be seen on your forehead. And a secret spot a lot of people don't know about is the center line of the forehead. Now, this area of the face is very interesting. Here along my forehead, it corresponds to no organ. It's basically a hologram that exists by itself. Like how I told you, my hands is a hologram for my whole body. My ears is a hologram for my whole body. Guys, this area here is a hologram for the spirit.
For the spirit.
That was the site outside of China's most recent bankrupt bank, the Jiangxi Bank of China. And I wish I could say that this was the first bank that we've seen in China go completely insolvent, but it's not. Because as you can see right now, the banking sector for China is facing an all-out massive crisis where in just 1 week, 40 of their banks have completely disappeared. I have to repeat that. 40 banks have collapsed in 1 week in China. I mean, that is just total catastrophe for that entire economy. And I wish I could say that the Jiangxi Bank was just a small local regional bank, but it's not. Because as you can see, they were the 44th biggest bank in all of China in 2023. Now the question becomes, what's the root cause of all of these banks collapsing at the same time? And as you can see, that China's smaller banks were already struggling with bad loans and exposures to the ongoing property crisis. And it gets even crazier than that when you look at these numbers. Because as you can see, some 3,800 such troubled institutions exist. They have 55 trillion won, which is 7.5 trillion US dollars in assets, which is 13% of the total banking system that have been mismanaged and accruing vast amounts of bad loans. $7.5 trillion. Wow. And keep in mind that this isn't good for anything going on in the economy for China or the world as a whole. So how will this impact the United States banking system moving forward? The answer is it shouldn't impact it too much. And the reason why is because we have a checks and balances system that happens within our banks where every year there's government oversight that happens within these banks that gives them grades and tells them if they need to make corrections based on their risk management and how they're doing as far as how close to insolvency they are. So right now, I don't expect this to impact the United States too much, but seeing those numbers with the Bank of China, I'm expecting to see a lot more Chinese bank collapses.
Babe, why are all those banks in China disappearing? Are they having a banking crisis or something's going on?
What happened in China with what's going on in China right now is, you all know this, right? Talked about it. It's Evergrande, and well, it's not Evergrande, it's the real estate bubble. Ghost cities and all that, right? So what's happened is, it's very similar to our SNL crisis and also the...
What's the SNL crisis?
It's in the 80s, Lincoln Savings. Okay. But it's also very similar... It's similar to that because of bank failures, and it's somewhat similar to small bank failures. And then this one is similar to the great financial crisis because of a real estate bubble. So the bottom line is this: all these rural areas in China have little banks. They're little banks, right? They serve, China's provincial, right? They got provincial governments, all that. It's that political system, how they manage their country. And these little provinces have these little banks, and they financed real estate pretty much all over. And the real estate bubble is popped now, right? So what happened to all those banks? They're undercapitalized. They go under. Like in the 80s here, the SNL crisis, you had a bunch. So like it's like here in the 80s, you have these thing called savings and loans. You don't see them much anymore. So little banks, savings and loans, like a credit union kind of idea, right? They're small. They can't, if their loans go bad, poof, they're undercapitalized, they're gone, right? They just go away, right? Here in the US, we have a very orderly system for bank failures to protect consumers, protect deposits, yada, yada, yada. We have one of, I would say, the best system in the world, really, with how we manage the banks, right? And regulations and whatnot. That's not available in China. So what happens when all these banks are failing? So what China is like, shit. And as they were failing, the consumers who banked there were taking the brunt of it. They had no access to their deposits. And these are like rural provinces and stuff. These people are poor people. Yeah. And there goes their money, right? So what the government do, right? It just absorbed them all. Like they create these bank restructuring companies and just take over all of them to protect the people Politically, you don't want them to get all pissed off. They lost their money because of a real estate bubble, blah, blah, blah. So that's what it is. It's a bank failures because of a real estate bubble popping, and these little banks are the ones that can't really survive very much of a hit. Little banks have, they have very little margin when the loan losses happens. Your capital is gone. You're insolvent. It happens really fast.
Yeah.
And they don't have a system like ours with the liquidity window, with the FDIC coming in and all that. So this is what they did. They just absorbed them all into several different larger banks to fix the problem.
And as we just seen, them larger banks are also going down.
Someone's going to take the loss. Someone's going to take the loss, which more than likely is the Chinese government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're trying to cancel him for exposing dentists. Watch this.
Hydroxyapatite. They contain the minerals that naturally form the bonds that create that additional enamel that can potentially fill in cavities and by remineralization of the enamel and some of the deeper layers of the tooth.
So by using hydroxyapatite, you could literally remineralize your enamel, which means if you have cavities or tooth sensitivity, this could be a game changer. Unfortunately, regular toothpaste doesn't have it. Instead, it contains fluoride, which is a lot worse. But a brand that does have it is Knobs. It contains all natural ingredients that are actually beneficial for your teeth and cuts out all the bad ingredients that you'd find in normal toothpaste. It comes in these little toothpaste tablets, and all you do is chew until it's fully dissolved and then brush like normal. And we all know how expensive going to the dentist is, so by getting this, you're potentially saving hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Not to mention this has really good reviews, and I know it's definitely helped my teeth out. So if you guys want to reverse cavities, fight tooth sensitivity, and save money, I'll leave a link for you guys right here so you can get it before they sell out.
I guess we should get some knobs, guys.
Check this out, you guys. The ground is moving in Rancho Palos Verdes in California, y'all. They're saying that the ground is moving at a foot per week, y'all. A foot per week. Y'all do know California was once an island, right? This is why they keep talking about this fault line in California, and it looks like it's about to be an island again, y'all. Check this out.
An up-close look at the destruction in Rancho Palos Verdes caused by unprecedented land movement. Recent reports suggest the ground is moving about a foot per week. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf is live tonight after navigating through some of the most treacherous areas of that neighborhood. Matthew?
Christine, really unbelievable to see just how much this land has moved. Now, this road used to be up where our camera is now. I estimate probably 12 feet higher than where we are currently, and it's only getting worse out here. Fox 11 walking exclusively with experts, viewing record-breaking land movement in Rancho Palos Verdes.
As you can see, their elevation was about 6 feet higher.
This neighborhood off Portuguese Bend, ground zero.
The gas line breaks about 3 times a week.
Gas a frequent smell, homes and roads here cracking and sinking more every day.
You have to think to yourself, this isn't real. And that's how I feel here. I feel like I'm on a movie set, but in reality, this is 25 people's homes.
Drone video from the Alpha Structural team shows a giant separation of land cutting through the neighborhood.
This whole part, it just pulled away from over here. It opened up a chasm.
They have abandoned the underground water mains.
Water main pipes now above ground to prolong breaks.
There's the garden hose that goes up to their house to give them water.
A garden hose used to get water into a home. It would be challenging to walk upright.
Absolutely.
One homeowner climbing a rope to reach their house, but Friday, the driveway now possibly too steep even for that.
And in the last week, I think it's gotten so bad, they're actually packing up, it looks like, and moving along with the house across the street.
This area continues to drop roughly 12 feet in the last year or so. Just look at this home. It used to be street level, and now it's way down here.
As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. California was once an island, and it's about to be an island once again. They just built up around California to make it seem like it's connected with the other states. But y'all see what's happening to the planet right now, y'all. But let me know what you guys think about this video. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I'm only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times. Like, comment, and follow me on all these platforms, y'all. Let's continue to get this shift. Peace in.
Seen something. Did y'all see that? It's like a little bitty ball. Yo, shout out to all my flat earthers, man. I'm telling you, there's proof in the flat earth theory. People do their actual research in that. Anyone who thinks of the globe earth, they don't do research. Their research is Google in some scientific article, by some scientific program or some scientist like Neil deGrasse Tyson. They'll listen to them. Don't do no research themselves and still tell you that it's a globe earth. But flat earthers will do the research and say, hey, there's no way that this is globe. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, these are some of the most strange and bizarre TikToks that are out there. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe, turn your notification bells on, and until next time, YouTube, peace.